Going on, y'all? It's Derek J407, aka Best Heel Ever, here to give you my thoughts on this week's episode of Lucha Underground, episode 21. And this whole show was based on one match, that match being Six to Survive. It was a six-person elimination match where the winner will go on to face the monster, Matanza for the Lucha Underground Championship at Ultima Lucha 2, which I believe is either next week or the week after. I'm not sure which, but yeah, this is a one-match show. I didn't realize it would be, but yeah, it's like I don't see why it wouldn't be. But yeah, so they played it out like each elimination happened right before a commercial break, and they spaced it out really well. Honestly, this is one of my favorite matches of the year so far. This is definitely one of my favorite matches this season of Lucha Underground. There's been some really good ones, but yeah, this was one of my favorite matches of the season so far. Well, not so far, but like this late in the season, because I'm pretty sure Ultima Lucha, that will be like the end of this season. But yeah, it's just been awesome. So let's go ahead and talk about this match. Just reviewing a match here, basically. So the six competitors were, of course, Pentagon Jr., Taya, Johnny Mundo, Ivelisse, King Cuerno, and Phoenix. So, two ladies in this match. I believe that's everybody. Yeah. So, the match kicks off and already off to a chaotic start. Just shit going crazy all over the place. All kinds of flips and kicks. That's basically any Lucha Underground match. You know, flips and kicks. Some stuff is a little choreographed and a little spotty at times, but for the most part it was a really fun opening moments with all the guys in the match. King Cuerno, at one point, Phoenix, he was about to, like, everybody was on the outside, almost everybody was on the outside, so Phoenix was about to run and go to the ropes and then dive off and dive out onto all of them. But when he turned around and started to run back, that's when King Cuerno gave him a super kick. So at that point, King Cuerno kind of took control of the match until out of the smoke came Mil Muertes and Katrina, I'm sorry, I'm trying to be all cute and shit. Katrina came back with him. As you saw at the end of the show last week, he was in that glass case in King Cuerno's little box. Well, not his box, but like his area, his cabin almost, with all his dead animal heads. And you saw he has new eyes, basically. He has red, bloodshot eyes, and that's what he came out here. He came out and speared Cuerno, beat the shit out of him, started ground and pound on him. Yeah, they got a close-up. You can see his eyes just bloodshot red, looked even more devastating. A little bit goofy, but hey, it's alright. If fucking Roman Reigns would come out 1 week on Raw with bloodshot red eyes, that would look ridiculous. But here in Lucha Underground, where everything's over the top, crazy, Mil Muertes coming out with bloodshot eyes like this was pretty cool. And eventually King Cuerno got eliminated, so he was the first person to get eliminated. So I imagine those two, that being Mil Muertes and King Cuerno, will have a match at Ultima Lucha 2. So then, now you got 5 left. Still impressive. Still really good action. Ivelisse started to take control of the match from here. And then eventually Johnny Mundo and Taya, they double team everybody in this match, and they started to take down her. Pentagon and Phoenix were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then Ivelisse's downfall, she was going back and forth with Taya. At one point, Taya was about to hit her with a moonsault, but Evie got out the way, so Taya landed flat. But eventually, the two of them crossed paths again, and this time, Taya got her down, hit her with a double foot stomp to the chest, and eliminated Ivelisse. So Ivelisse is the next to go. So now we're down to 4, and 2 of these 4 have an alliance, of course. That means Taya and Johnny Mundo. But before that, Taya got her ass kicked by Pentagon Jr. I liked how early on in the match, there was one point, it was Ivelisse and Phoenix just refused to hit a woman. He refused to hit Ivelisse. And that is just the polar opposite of Pentagon. Pentagon beat the fuck out of Taya here, giving her all kinds of chops and kicks and all that kind of stuff. At one point, he had her up on the middle rope and had her legs split across and hit her with Goldust's Shattered Dreams. But it's more devastating to a guy. But I mean, that I'm sure right there for a woman, that shit don't feel too good. I remember that in that Mariposa Sexy Star match, something similar like that happened. Sexy Star, like, she had a chair wedged right there in that area and hit the chair within that center right there. I'm sure that shit don't feel good. I haven't tried to hit my girlfriend in that area because I'm sure I will never get to see that area ever again if I would do something like that. But that's a different video for a different time. Anyway, Taya got her ass kicked. At one point, she got pile driven on the outside by Pentagon Jr. Pentagon pile drove Taya. Not my way of pile driving a woman, but I mean, to each his own. So, Pentagon, I'm sorry for that. That was a lot of sexual jokes in this video. Pentagon, then, because at the same time he did that, Johnny Mundo threw Phoenix into like the fence on the other side. So Pentagon and Mundo went to blows. Eventually Taya got back in there. She got her revenge on Pentagon a little bit, hit him with the Hurricane Rana, and fought back. Her and Mundo took control of the match, dominated both Pentagon and Phoenix. But in the end, Pentagon was able to hit Taya with another pile driver, another underhook pile driver, and eliminated her. So now it came down to Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, and Johnny Mundo. The three of them started off just chopping each other, just one chopping the other, and that one chopping the other one, and just a series of chops. And then it broke away from that, and flips and dives and all that kind of stuff. Johnny Mundo took control of the match from there. He kind of slowed the pace down a little bit. The crowd seemed to die down just a little bit when he took control here. He knocked Pentagon on the outside, and it was him and Phoenix going at it. But eventually the two guys with masks came back. They came back on him. They started to beat down Mundo, but then they started to attack each other. And it was weird because Mundo, he was laid out, like near the corner, but he was like laid out. So you got Phoenix and Pentagon going at it. But Phoenix was about to go for like a Hurricane Rana on Pentagon, but Pentagon reversed it, and he was about to roll him up for a schoolboy. But when he rolled him over, he rolled him onto Johnny Mundo. So Phoenix is covering Mundo, and Pentagon is kind of covering Mundo. He has his back on the mat, but he has his shoulders up too. So they both eliminated Johnny Mundo. So Johnny Mundo got eliminated. He looked just completely distraught. I thought he might like lay them both out, and then you'll start the final two with both of them being laid out. But nah, he looked pissed, but he still left. So it came down to Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. I'm sure they had a match last season at some point, but it was probably early on in the season when I wasn't watching it that consistently. But this is a match, like a real straight up one-on-one match that I would love to see. And we got it here, but I mean, these two just survived 4 other people, and they got their asses kicked for like the last couple while of the match. So these two were beat down, but that didn't stop them. They broke out and started slapping submission holds on one another. Some really, really creative looking submission holds, and a dragon sleeper, which Phoenix put on Pentagon. But then Pentagon like stretched Phoenix out in some weird way, and then Phoenix stretched him out. I lost track of how many times Phoenix got landed on top of his head. Like, he got pile driven, he got like DDT'd and all that kind of stuff, just right on the top of his head, like on his neck too. Phoenix was taking a beating in this match, but he gave as much as he took, and he, gave it right back to Pentagon. They were going at it, but finally Pentagon hit that final pile driver. This was like the second or third time Phoenix got laid out with a pile driver in this match. And this is probably like the second or third pile driver Pentagon did in this match. So he hit him with the underhook pile driver, got the 1-2-3. Pentagon Jr. wins. He's the #1 contender for the Lucha Underground Championship. Matanza and Dario Cueto came out. They were up on the top of the stairwell. And Pentagon got the microphone. He promised to break every bone in Matanza's body. And just to show how much of a badass he is, he's going to break some of Dario's bones as well. Because he's Pentagon Jr. and he has cero miedo. Cero miedo. So, big night. I'm looking forward to it. I think we all know where the story goes from here, Pentagon, he's broken, literally broken. It's almost like a Batman story when Bane broke Batman's back, and not the movie, The Dark Knight Rises, not that. I mean, it is that, but I'm talking more about the comic books. This is showing my nerd a little bit. But yeah, like, breaks his back, he's sent away, he has to build himself back up. In this case, Vampiro is the one beating the fuck out of him. But then finally he comes back, he rises from the ashes, he returns to take down the monster that broke him the first time around. And it works, considering the fact that Matanza looks like Bane. He has a Bane-esque mask. So yeah, the story writes itself. I'm pretty sure once they clash, it'll be an uphill battle, but Pentagon will prevail in the end. I'm pretty confident in that. So yeah, that was this week. The match was a lot of fun. I didn't say every single move that was done. That's for you to do. You go out and watch it for yourself and see how awesome this match was, because I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I'm looking forward to Ultima Lucha to see these two go one-on-one again. Matanza's a damn good athlete, and of course Pentagon is entertaining as all hell. I'm still anxious to see what happens to Dario Cueto. Black Lotus is getting suspicious of him, and then you got the cops after him. Don't forget Councilman Lorenzo Lamas, Councilman Delgado. He still has his employer. We haven't seen any evidence of that in recent weeks, so I'm looking forward to all that. I don't know if that'll all get revealed next week, but I'm sure the season's winding down, so I'm sure it'll come up. So I'm looking forward to seeing where all of this goes, and I will try to review as much of it as I can so I can share my thoughts of it with you all. So that's it for me now, so I'll check y'all later.